What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 18 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, I've been having a lot of fun with our sort of Empire-style armies, as in Empire Total War-style armies, with all the gunnery units and the artillery units, and have made it to the coastline of Bretonnia. We've taken out the Red Duke and have captured Mousillon, and are looking to knock out the Broken Axe as well. Looks like Bretonnia will be free of, well, other than the Drowned, but free of foes rather soon. Sooner than the Dwarfs, but we're working away at their enemies as well. It's just that they have a lot more with them. Still very impressed by Skarsnik with all of this. But anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, I think last episode we made it about halfway through the turn, unless I'm mistaken, so we still probably have at least a few moves to be making. Wolfric, you're fine as you are. Marius Lightdorf, you still have to move, I see. And alright, you know what? I think, okay, 10 turns have got to have passed by now, right? Right? I guess we're about to find out. Let's ask the, I'm gonna say, Continental Exarchate to join the war against Clan Grutnik for barely any money. Well, I wonder if Karakajin would have offered us more money, but we can trade them territory for money, so might as well take these guys' money. Alright, let's, moment of truth. Reliability, very high. Very high, okay, good. Now, we need to get these guys to just stop running around our territory since they've been just so darn irritating. Go kill this. I don't know whether it's possible in the sense that these guys are across the river and then we attack them and they'll cross, but let's find out. Alright, how far will you run? Okay, stop. Maybe? Yeah, we're good. Okay, beautiful. Alright, kill this guy, and this is the Skaven Slave stack, so we don't need to worry about it, unlike that other stack, which looks pretty decent. It's just that we don't know where they are anymore. Pardon the captives. And I guess we'll move up here, and ooh, perfect vigor and campaign movement range, good for you. Potion of Foolhardiness I don't really care for, we'll probably obliterate it or delete it and turn it into something. Ungrim's moving to take Oakenhammer, we'll do it for him for the free XP, and then trade it right back to him. Hopefully that will give him the opportunity to move elsewhere and deal with the rats himself. Man, how many times do we have to do this for you, Ungrim? Come on now. Man, it's, I feel like it's definitely true that your likely allied factions or nearby allied factions are likely to become a lot weaker due to the due to what faction the player has, because the dwarfs are doing absolutely atrociously in this campaign. Though admittedly in our Thorgrim campaign we had a pretty hard start with having to deal with the Skaven and all of the orcs around us at the same time, and playing that whole whack-a-mole game as we tried to chase them down. So who knows, maybe the dwarfs would have been, you know, very bad or done very bad in that campaign too. But anyway, for now, let's keep going. That was Leitdorf. We still got Balthazar Gelt. I do believe he was in range of, yes, Stone Mine Tower, so you're gonna go on over there. And I assume that Wurzag can't reach us in one bound, so we should be able to auto-resolve this despite the fact that we're, well, actually we're not that damaged, we're fine. Auto-resolve, and you got another Tormentor Sword. Very, very nice pickup, Gelty. You know what, hold on to this for now. I think we will give it to somebody else, though. One of the all-ranged armies, one of the ones without real melee contingents. You got a Scribe, we'll give that to a Lord if I don't forget about it. Recruiter Albrecht, okay, buddy, I'd love to give you a steam tank. We don't need to pay an extra, like, 400 gold per turn for you, so as much as I'd like you to have one. Province secure Dragonback Mountains, and I guess we'll go into Council of Burgomeisters here. I mean, more likely than not, we'll be trading away the entire territory, but for now, just hold on to it. And we shall see. I'd say 90% likelihood, mostly because we have the Empire and we have plenty of territory, and I don't want to go over admin-y. If you want a world-spanning, ludicrously giant empire, the Thorgrim campaign's right there. Anyway, Boris, wait, well, that was Gelt, right? Did I already go past Gelt? Okay, yeah, Gelt's right here. Alderman Ludenhoff, and who's Gustav Hall again? Oh, right, this guy. Well, I was gonna say I wanted to move you up here to recruit some mortars, but maybe we'll wait because we don't know where that Clan Grutnik army went, if it died or if it's actually just hanging out in ambush right here, ready to attack like Nachtdorf or something. Well, let's not risk it, shall we? Yeah, alrighty. Recruiter, you don't need to recruit Land Admiral Zintla, you're waiting. We don't really have the money to recruit with you anyway. Valmir von Raukov and Elgar, you're all waiting for your own armies, and, oh, that was the end. Alrighty, so we got a little bit of cash out of all that, and I figure we probably want to get at least a few more troops up and running here. I don't think Be'lakor will attack us immediately, but why risk it, right? What do we want to build for him? I mean, we probably should have at least some war wagons with him for the purposes of... although maybe not these war wagons. For the purposes of re-upping the ammunition in the army. And also, I decided to go with the Wildwood Rangers instead of the Sisters of the Thorn after all, mostly because we already have so many light cav running around. The Sisters of the Thorn, while they're better than any of our light cav, are sort of more of the same, even if they're arcing shots instead. Anyway, we'll probably build the war wagons, but not necessarily these ones. Let's just build some pikes or halberds for now. I'm gonna go with halberds here. For the armor piercing, because we're likely to fight Be'lakor and his armored units. Otherwise, we could, I guess we could recruit a couple more of these spears now. Oh, nah, that's pretty expensive, isn't it? I was about to say, we could recruit some huntsmen via the global recruitment. I could do one. It's just so expensive that it bothers me. Wait, we don't have a recruiter lord nearby, do we? As in one that's free and ready to come back and recruit? Master engineers... Recruiter Olden will be up in one turn. Go figure. Alright, well, maybe we'll use him for that purpose then, and just not use the global recruitment. You stay as you are, you're fine. Alright, let's end the turn. I think somebody was going to attack us, but I don't remember where. I guess we're about to find out. Building upgrade damage, building end turn, let's find out. Alright, apparently nobody... Oh, right, it was Karaz-a-Karak that was supposed to attack us, but I guess they were too afraid to sell yet. Alright, I'll begin outpost construction, ready for duty, Recruiter Olden. I was just talking about you, Ralph Brandt. Volkmar is back. Okay, why did it go here? Okay, that's fine. Ready for duty, technology researched, research rate for somebody else, smuggler for somebody, nice, and another tradesman. Alright, do you have a tradesman, Mr. Friendly? I don't remember who you are. But you do not have a tradesman, therefore you shall have one. Tradesman for you. There we go. What's our trade income at, by the way? 69k. Nice. And quickly, rapidly approaching our actual building income. I want to see if we can go over. I think the only faction I've ever gone over with, as in gotten trade higher than building income so far in the campaigns that I played, have been the Skaven, which is interesting. But they are a rather trade-centric faction, so it does make sense. Skaven will trade with anyone. Ooh, wait, free island. Go grab this. You may not be... Why didn't you go out via the port? Okay, well, whatever. Let's just take this for free. Alright, and take the money as well, because you're going to heal up anyway. There's no other islands along the river, is there? Just to double check if there is a 8,000 treasury. I think this is too far. I thought I saw one over here somewhere, but it is probably somewhere where we don't want to travel. Well, whatever. And nothing upriver, just... oh, there is one here. Actually, this isn't that far, but at the same time, we can have Von Kessel pick it up. Yeah, you go this way, grab the shipwreck, and then land here, and then go up the land, and then down the coastline, etc. again. Like, so... no, stop. Okay. Alright, go in regular stance so that you can get the increased movement range from starting the turn in our own province. You can return to South Bank while you're at it, and sit there for a bit. Alrighty, Mr. Builder. Okay, yeah, we'll use you right now, so we'll go for the city, and I guess we'll just upgrade the Tailor's Guild and the Tavern here immediately, and then pop you back into Host Festag, while you can proceed towards... Do we need anything in Karoberg? I mean, I guess we can start on it. Okay, go briefly to Karoberg. Then build up the Wizards Campus, then go here towards Kutenholz, and then build the stuff there. Like so, Rally Field, I guess we can upgrade the Tavern, whatever. Definitely the Toll Gates, most definitely the Foundry and the Wizards Conclave. And do you need to upgrade the Tavern? I mean, you probably don't need the additional public order here, to be perfectly honest, but I think we have enough space for everything else, so just upgrade it. If we need to delete it, we'll delete it. It's not a big deal. And then you can return to City North. There we go. And then we will build this for cheaper. Grand Temple of Sigmar. 5 turns until we get the Sigmarite tech, and that is the last building that we needed to build in Altdorf, so now it can be an imperial taxation forever and make us money. Also, you are no longer needed here, so you're free to move either southward to Tom, which next turn will need to be upgraded, so get ready to move to Tom. Lovely to have a builder. Alrighty, though that did take, what, 30,000, 20,000 gold, whatever it was. Alright, we're gonna get fighting with these guys in a second. Let's see what happened at Karaz-a-Karak. Yeah, so basically these guys just didn't sally out. Unfortunately, that means no cinematic battle. We're going to just have to manually fight this, but it might be still pretty fun because we have no artillery. And we have to take it the old-fashioned way. I wonder if we should wait a little bit to get a few, a few more siege towers to attack them at once, as the enemy towers will probably do severe damage to us. On the other hand, might be fun to just do it this way. Not a big deal. Gavin, let's level you up and let's head on into the fight. You have Flow of Battle, Woundmaker, Indomitable, and you obviously don't need Artillery Master, or Honest Steel, or Mighty Forge, or Imperial Gunnery. You still have 12 points remaining. We could actually move you all the way through to Headhunter. We do have the amount of points, but then it would mean skipping Woundmaker, which isn't too bad. Devastating Charge feels like it makes decent sense, and so does Full Plate Armor, but you're already heavily armored, and Charge has pretty severe sort of diminishing returns on spamming it too much. You know what, let's get Woundmaker and then I'll think about it. We could go 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and then 46, 47, 48, 49, 50 if we skip Charge and Full Plate Armor. We'd get the additional movement range out of Headhunter. We could go for either Lightning Strike or the Upkeep Reduction, or even Logistician. There's some good stuff. Anyway, I'll think about it. For now, let's level everybody else up. You've got Onslaught. I would like you to get the cooldown reduction for spells, like so. It's rare that we use Amber Spear, but we might still want to put points in it. Yeah, these wizards are really point hungry. We also do want Sorcerer Shielding because you're a fighty wizard and you need to be careful. You may have a Griffin, but it's still relatively fragile. Okay, you're going to go for Blade Shield for obvious reasons, just double checking that we have everything else important, and you're probably going to do something along the same lines. You can actually get Sigmar's Warden Mark of Hish. And the rest of this looks good. Hard to hit into Foe Seeker. Alright, and then lastly, Mr. Warrior Priest. Beacon of Courage's enemy charge bonus, fire resistance for Lord's Army. We should probably still move towards Benediction first before anything else, though. I'm going to say start with Tenacity and then we'll move to Augury afterwards. Mostly because any additional HP and just defenses for these guys is really great because they tend to get targeted by a lot of stuff. Anyway, we're going to fight this manually because the cinematic won't work, as I've said. But it is still about time we retake Karaz-a-Karak. I am also curious to see whether we can immediately return this to the dwarfs based on the fact that it's their former capital, or whether we actually need now to build a road of settlements essentially towards it. Which would be kind of annoying, but if it's what has to happen, it's what has to happen. It's one of the reasons we haven't traded a lot of territory back to the Karaz-a-Karak dwarfs. Alrighty, now... usually I like to start here on this particular map, and I think that isn't gonna change in this particular situation. Granted, there are 4 towers on this side, but the Huntsman can at least go here and fire at the enemy without too much fear of reprisal. Some reprisal. I guess we're gonna see how much reprisal. Anyway, we'll do this. We will send the single unit of spears through, I'm gonna say that gate, so you're gonna go around, but the towers we can pop into maybe here and here. Something like that. You, alright, which one of you two can fly? You can fly. Alright, so you and you, the two ones that can fly are gonna go up on the walls. And you two are gonna start working on that gate before the arrival of the Lord. Oh, I guess you 3, because you horses as well. Alright, good. You guys are gonna have to wait back here. Hopefully the towers are out of range. Okay, I have to select all of you, alright. Like so, and then the halberds, I'm going to want you to sort of go rank up. And then, or form ranks, not rank up, close enough. And then you're going to march out here. All right, I think that's pretty much all we want out of this. Yes, yes, yes. All right, you guys go here. You guys get ready to move in close to fire away. Huntsmen are firing. You guys move here. Towers, get ready to move up. And Ram, get ready to move towards the gate. All right, and everybody else is moving. You guys get ready to go into position. Huntsman, you're gonna take a little bit of damage, but that's fun. You're gonna pop in a Overcast Flock-of-Doom on everybody here. Like so, and then start fighting up on top of those walls. Lovely. You guys get ready to go for the Huh. That's curious. The Biggins are moving outside of the gate. That's going to make it difficult for our ram to get through. At least more difficult for the ram to get through. Alright, and the halberds get ready to form up here. And... okay, I should have done that the other way around, but whatever. Alright, here and here. Other units are firing away. Our Griffin is doing fine. We could pop off a kettle call, but most likely we're just better off just doing as much damage as possible to the units up here. Any way we can. Do have to be a little bit careful about the black orcs up here, though. Although, you're not stuck, are you? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, let's get ready to move. Let's pop a transformation of Kadan now. And we'll do kettle call as well, or kettle's call, or whatever it is. There we go, and the artillery is firing away at us, but that should hardly be of any surprise. Alright, and then come down. Alright, huntsmen are doing a decent job. Who's out here? Okay, you need to be careful, huh? What would happen if you Grand Soul Fire now? Would it just hit the... I think it would hit the... yeah. Unfortunate. But oh well, what can you do? Ram, get ready to move. You are nearly there to start ramming away as one does. You need to overcast that Flock of Doom again. Kettle's Call units are just about to die, but that's just fine and fully as expected. Let's also debuff the Black Orcs with a Curse of Anric here, as they're liable to do damage to you too. Manticore, however, can keep on fighting. Alright, and we're still pretty okay. Towers! Alright, you are gonna go here. And you are going to go right here between these two towers. Let the enemy towers waste their time. And they are in range of our... okay, of our knights. So our knights are going to have to go here, get ready to move through. And Gundermans, you're still firing away. How are you two doing up here? Still pretty okay. I'm starting to take a little bit of damage. Let's buff you up at least with a little bit of bonus armor. And no more transformation of Kadan. We should be fine. And... oh, okay. No, I didn't mean to do that. Step here on the walls. Such as you are. Alright, you guys. Oh, this guy's still out here. Alright, where's his personal buff? That's this one? Yeah, use that. Alright, halberds, get ready to move. Soon you will be getting through. Huntsman, I feel like you're not firing, even though you should be. Let's get some different sort of angles. Well, actually, you guys are still firing, so... it looks good to me. Alright, Flock of Doom again. Like so. Alright, I think it's time for the Amber Wizard to leave. He's been doing a pretty good job so far, and the gate will fall. In fact, the gate has fallen, meaning Group 1 can move on in, and then the rest will follow. You guys need to get ready to go for the artillery, which admittedly we maybe could have gone for first, but now that we've got other units up on top of the walls, we're essentially free to go wherever we so please. Alright, go, go, go. Please don't tell me you're stuck. Now you're good. Now, where's that artillery piece? Alright, you guys go for that. Got another Flock of Doom up and running soon. You can activate the Stand Your Ground and... well, the Drakwild Runefang doesn't really do anything for us here. You guys move. You're fine. And Gundermans, get ready to head up onto those walls and start firing down on the enemy below. Maybe send one more unit of halberds up there. Alright, artillery piece is being annoyed by the enemy, or, well, we're the enemy. And we can help out with the Kettle's Call, but not actually to go after the Rock Lobbers, because these guys will kill them just fine. I want the Kettle's Call units to bring down this catapult tower fast as they can. Alrighty. And we got another Flock of Doom available as well. Beautiful. Alright, especially since this poor unit of halbards is getting damaged. Let's up armor them. Oh, we can't reach them, can't we? Alright, lift off. The Rock Lobber should be out of the picture soon anyway. I want the halbards to survive, so... oh wow, you're getting damaged by the towers still? Yeah, I guess the enemy still does own the towers, so... alright, you. Gundermans, get ready to move. You know what, other Gundermans, I guess we're gonna send you up here, and then you can follow along. Okay, not getting... okay, I see that the Huntsmen are still not firing. Maybe reposition yourselves. I might even put you up on top of the walls. Alright, and how's that tower looking? Nearly done for... oh, the Kettle's Call units have failed just as that happened. Oh, well, not too bad. Oh, wow, look at that. This unit of halberds got basically destroyed by the wall towers. Well, that shouldn't be surprising. It's not a big deal, but it is mildly annoying. Alright, you go help and land and kill those guys. I think the artillery piece is, well, more or less not a threat anymore. Gundermans, go here. Next Gundermans, up here. You guys, activate some buffs and continue making your way through the gateway. Or the gate, rather. And yeah, I think we'll start putting the Huntsman up on top of the walls to help out as well. Alright, this unit's gonna rout. Alright, the tower is done for. And we need to move everybody else out of the range of where the enemy towers can fire at us, since that's the way the game is gonna play it. Alright, you're gonna go right here. Good. Alright, you guys, move on in. Let's move the lords through. Let's also try to get the soulfire a little bit closer and buff everybody's attack and defense. You probably leave this place now. And then you, another flock of doom, babe, maybe? Actually, here would be better. Alright. Lovely. I'd love to get the knights through, but we need to make a little bit more of a sort of headway. And is this an enemy lord? Nah, just another pile of biggins. It's all biggins, as far as the eye can see. Slaanesh is in heaven. Anyway, let's see. Halberds are moving on in. You guys can try to attack those orc boys. You want to maybe buff everybody up here with a nice armor buff, like so. That's basically everybody on wall and off wall. And where is our captain? Oh, I thought I told you to leave. Not that he's damaged. He can keep distracting those units, but I think he can, you know, go help out on top of the walls or something. Alrighty, there we go. Halberds have taken the towers now. Not that we need them anymore. Gundermans are firing away. Let's pop some of the archers or huntsmen up to where they can provide fire support with everybody else. Other unit of damaged halberdiers making their way out of there. I'm gonna debuff the enemy around the gate, and just so that they don't do additional damage. I'm just gonna watch those rock lobbers, see if they try to make their way onto their artillery pieces again, while you can now back off and just sit there for a bit. Alright. Everybody else, start moving on in. Okay, maybe kill that unit of orc biggins. Alright, and since the towers are ours, we are free to move around and pop another range unit up there. Alright, you're good, you're good. Knights, you'll eventually maybe get through, but I mean, this isn't the best place for Empire Knights. You can just go back here. I don't think anything else can damage you. And then is there any other tower that you need to knock down? I don't think so. I think you're okay, meaning you can come down here and join the fun. Anybody sufficiently damaged that we need to back them off? I think we're okay as well. The huntsmen... Well, I see the Gundermans are firing well. The huntsmen appear to be... Yeah, they're firing too. Just taking a little bit longer to do it, which is fine. Alright, and this is the second unit of huntsmen. You guys gonna go right up there. Alright, you... Huh, a unit of orc biggins making their way back in. Alright, you go up that siege to... Vehicle health 0%. Huh. The siege tower got destroyed by something? Oh, that's curious. I don't know what did that, but I'm curious about it. Alright, well, I guess you're gonna make your way up this siege tower then. Although at this point, it's probably not as necessary. Alright, everybody else here, go start moving towards these orc boys minus you. You could just sit here because you're quite badly damaged. How are we doing otherwise? Another flock of doom, maybe? I think this warrants it. Enemy's kind of milling around behind the barricade blocker. I feel like the AI, I don't know, kind of sabotages itself sometimes when it builds those. Not that it would have had any kind of chance here. Mind you, everybody start moving towards the blocker barricade. And you can be part of Group 1 now. Ungroup? Yeah, Group 1. I wonder if whenever they'll fix the cinematic replay bug for territories like this. It would be nice. Not that it isn't nice to occasionally get a regular old fight. Means less editing for me. Let's see, you guys can move up here. And otherwise, everybody just keep firing. I don't think we have anybody here to reset their ammo. Which is a little bit unfortunate. Maybe this is maybe this calls for an engineer's backpack in this particular army. I'll certainly think about it. You can make your way through. Oh, you know who can also make their way through? Knights. Start going this way. We'll start with you. And then while the knights are doing that, you guys can move through the wall. Oh, it looks like the battle is just about as... Man, you guys taking forever. Alright, you're gonna go help them. Don't send whoever to do Griffin Rider's job, I guess. And just speed it up. Frankly, I'm surprised that the enemy hasn't shattered, and I was correct to be surprised because the enemy has shattered. It's just we have to get proximity. So you guys go charge that to work unit of biggins, and the enemy the army will be done. Oh. Land. That'll shatter you. Okay, so it's not just proximity. Flying over the enemy doesn't count. I still don't really understand why they decided to do that. It's curious. Anyway, the only real damage of significance we took was about half HP to the Amber Wizard, which is perhaps unsurprising. I think later on when we have some spare Probably potions of toughness. We'll just give them to the Amber Wizards so that they can fight, but also get a little bit of healing as needed. We could also give them the Seed of Rebirth items rather than Lords. Might be nice on them as well. And yeah, and obviously that one unit of Halberdiers which got destroyed by the enemy wall towers, but otherwise pretty okay. 311 kills on those Gundermans. I guess as soon as they made their way up on top of the wall, they started racking up those kills. Yeah, alright, there we go. I choked on some water and then had a coughing fit. Anyway, alrighty, decisive victory. Karaz-a-Karak is ours, though probably not for long, as we are certainly going to be trading it away. Moment. Hey, free Rune Fang, because we haven't had enough Rune Fangs, but this is nice. It gives magical attacks. One of the reasons I put the Mace of Hellstorm on one of our other lords was because of the need for magical attacks, and just out of curiosity, in theory, all Rune Fangs should have magical attacks, should they not? But I'm pretty sure that most of them don't. So the blue Rune Fang might actually be better than actual Rune Fangs. And just by virtue of that magical attack. And especially since we probably wouldn't want to waste the Lichbone Pennant on it, but anyway. Karaz-a-Karak, don't collect the income. Dwarfs, are we able to give this to you?
Now then, Manlin, what brings you here this
We are not. Well, that's annoying. Okay, so what this means is we need to build a line of settlements close enough to Karaz-a-Karak to give it to them. Probably the best option would be to take Crooked Moon, Zenris from Crooked Moon, trade it to the dwarfs, then trade them Ulfraya, and then use that to give them Karaz-a-Karak. I really wish it didn't have to be the case, but anyway, I feel like capitals should be exempted from the borders rule because it's kind of silly that they aren't. But anyway, it's a new turn, so let's start from the top because I already didn't start from the top. Anyway, trenches stance for Karl, I guess. Proceed to the lair of the Troll King.
A step too far.
And what do we have here? Close victory, casualties low, but they do have a war mammoth and stuff. This is a minor settlement, is it not? Unwalled settlement battles. I'm willing to bet that they won't sally out, though, so we probably have to fight our way through it. Alright, let's see who else needs to move, and then we'll figure that one out. Anyway, Dolph. You can move all the way to Ironskin's Hole and then loop back around this way, but I feel like we should probably knock out the Zinchans, although I guess you could... Wait, what do we have here in terms of defenses? There are some. We also have to wonder where those Lamian Sisterhood enemies are. Oh, nonetheless, go to Ironskin's Hold. I fear that the game won't let us auto-resolve this any more than it has recently for Dolph. Yeah. Alright, we'll fight... Oh, is this a minor settlement or a field battle? It's a field battle. Alright, well, we'll probably fight that. Jurgen. You're still waiting for your land ships, though, actually, not for long. You're gonna head to Ulfenic in, I guess, Trench's stance. And it looks like the scaling are having a pretty bad time of all of this. So you're going to head here, and then we're going to pop in the 2 land ships. And then I guess this will also learn us as to whether the auto-resolve hates land ships, and if it does, to what degree. We'll see if they take massive amounts of damage compared to the rest of the army. Like so, and then you're no longer needed, so you can be reset and used as a ferry and or recruiter elsewhere. Goodbye. And you. Attack. I'm gonna quick save us in case these guys are treated the same as the war wagons, which is a distinct possibility. Let's find out. No, they didn't get hurt. Interesting. Unsinkable in the Jackdaw. Alright, you're named. Just wanted to double check that you were. Hey, and another student, another Griffin banner. Nice. Ooh, maybe we should give Griffin banners to every unit in the stack that has our 5 Demigriff Knights. Might be neat. I guess it can go for Host Festag for now. It's not like we're keeping the place, but just for now. Boris! Oh, there's an island in front of you. I guess what we should do with you... Okay, after we use these guys to steal tech. Okay, so first of all, you land. Go steal tech.
Behold the power of astromancy.
Huh?
What is your wish?
You didn't land, you stole it at sea? Okay, I mean, I'm not complaining, it's just odd. But okay. Then you are... Oh, you're not able to go there? Well, whatever. You can land, actually, and then you still got 100%, so you don't care. Boris, grab this island, whatever it may be.
Move!
See if you can't get a teensy bit of XP out of that. And I would also like to quick save and see what the auto-resolve does to the children of Ulrich. Or the things in the woods, but I'm gonna keep calling them Children of Ulrich. Auto-resolve, and ooh, yeah, the auto-resolve does not like those guys. Oh well. Praise Sigmar. Yeah, see, if we had a Praise Ulrich option, maybe that wouldn't have happened, game. Let's see. Can you land here, is the question. Guess we're about to find out.
Let us move!
Interestingly, most of them are okay. This one just got severely damaged. And you're just out of range. Fortunately, we can heal an enemy territory and channel while we're at it, so I guess we'll sit here for the turn. And, ooh, we have that did rank us up, so we are ready to go. A, Warden of the Middle Mountains, income from post-battle loot and physical resistance. Beloved of Ulrich, giving us, oh, wow. 50% construction cost reduction for province capital buildings? I didn't know that you had this. I should have double-checked this and sent you to build the capital at Marienburg instead of paying 14,000 gold for it. How much quick can you do? Most Ancient Order to buff up the Knights of the White Wolf. Charge of Middenland. Leadership Aura, weapon strength for everybody. Leadership on everybody. Vigor loss reduction for everybody. Biting Cold. What does Graft to the Undo? Alright, you can summon Swords of Ulrich. Melee attack plus 10 when fighting against Beastmen. Exceptional offensive. Yeah, alright. If we do these, we won't be able to do any of these, though. That's okay, this is mostly buffing you personally. So I guess we should probably prioritize this, including the buffs for you personally. I guess we should also probably go through Hold the Line. Although +5/+5 is pretty good as well. But this is +5 for everybody around, so yeah, fine. Start with Hold the Line. Sounds like you won't be leveling. And then you have Replenished Troops maxed out. Let's get your Shield of Faith, most definitely. Conviction and Retinue Physician are probably the other most important things. So let's start going through Organized and Retinue Valet, I guess, in order to get to Retinue Physician. And lastly, you have Flock of Doom maxed out. No Imperial Griffin yet, but frankly, you're only one level away. Let's get your Earthing. And you'll be ready for it soon. Alright. And good for Boris. Now, I'm willing to bet that Boris was not in order. I just moved him because I moved Gavin.
Sigmar.
Oh, also, that reminds me, we need to get to Mr. Volkmar the Grim up and running, as in immediately.
The land provides.
Okay, wait, let me just see here. Who wants to go where? I assume there's more enemies up here since there seems to be only this one little army down here. Alright, so we'll send you down this way. And I'm just going to have to hope that you can deal with what's down there. Also, Siegfried, you can move here. We gotta figure this out. So, our Bretonnian army is on the way. We're currently constructing 2 Grail Reliques and a War Drum. Just pretend it's a Bretonnian War Drum. And a single unit of Grail Knights. This is primarily going to be a Grey Mountain Band-centric army, as in a melee infantry-centric army with some mounted yeomen. But otherwise, it's with the idea of powering these guys up. We'll have a second Bretonnian army, which will have a bunch of the Wardens of the West mounted yeomen, but in addition to those guys, we'll have a bunch of Bretonnian knights as well, and possibly some of our knights. I'll think about it, and the way that we want to do it. I think it'll be neat. And we'll probably trade these guys back to this army, but for now, you two can march down there as soon as you've traded to Volkmar what you need to trade to Volkmar. Speaking of Volkmar, let's get you right here to trade off whatever other units need to be traded. And then we'll move up here to deal with the Skaven, just so that they don't attack us. I mean, I suppose that there's also the orcs up there. I wasn't going to have you deal with it, but at the same time, it's going to take a little bit to get our Crusader armies online, and maybe we should wait until they are indeed online. You have defensive, which is fine. We will reset you and most likely use you again. And then you're going to be replaced by Volkmar. Like so.
I see Sigmar's hand in this.
Alright, you see Sigmar's hand in this? Good. Alright, so, Volkmar's insane buffs to Free Company Militia, giving them 5 melee defense, 10 physical resistance, only them getting Frenzy, only them getting Blessed Magical Bullets as well. He really likes Free Company Militia, and can you blame him? I can't. And also Strength of the Penitent, which the Flagellants already have, but obviously it's for everybody in the army. This gives us Hero Capacity +2 for Warrior, Priest, and Witch Hunters. Pretty solid. Tools of Absolution, Flaming Attacks, and Armor-Piercing Weapon Damage for the entire army. Maybe Kindle Flame would work in your army as well. I was going to do a Light Wizard and a Luminarch, but I'll think about it. Definitely the Work of God and the Strength of the Penitent. Definitely the War Eternal. Wayfarer for Flagellants, Disciples, Empire Knights, and Free Company. We'll have a few Empire Knights, so we're definitely going to give him the army of Sigmar units. Probably, yeah, he does buff the Sigmarite Disciples. He doesn't give them Frenzy, interestingly enough, unless they already have Frenzy. They do not. Which I guess makes sense, because the Two-Token Guard, which are, I guess, sort of an equivalent, do have that. Alright, and the rest of that looks good to me. We're obviously also going to get you Grand Soulfire, Grand Shield of Faith, and then the Second Nature. Hold the Line, Inspiring Presence, Route Marcher. And I guess Pistol Corps for specifically your Free Company Militia to start, though there will be others. We also want to get you Sigmar's Ward, because, I mean, if anybody has Sigmar's Ward other than Karl, probably Volkmar. And maybe Mark of Hish? Or Hard to Hit. Yeah, you're kind of always in the middle of stuff. Alright. The rest of that looks good. The army is obviously incomplete as yet, but we're getting there. And I like the combination of the Stubborn Bulls and the Knights of the Everlasting Light as well, though... I guess these guys do have magical damage, and, well, yeah, getting fire damage on Knights of the Blazing Sun would be a waste, because they already have it. Yeah, alrighty. Well, that was Volkmar. Let's get back to doing things in order. Mr. Waldemar. Now, there is nothing here to be concerned. Oh, these guys are moving close. Oh, hopefully they don't take Castle Brienne before we have the chance to trade it. That would be really unfortunate. Okay, we gotta get a move on that. Well, I mean, it's not that we really can get a move on that, because we need to wait until the buildings are constructed. Anyway, I'm gonna have Waldemar grab a few of these islands nearby. One materials at sea would do so much for our men in going into the later portions of the campaign, so I'd rather risk it. I risk wasting a few turns on these guys. And plus it's picking up additional cash, which ain't too bad. Can go into march stance now, or full speed stance, and move towards this mysterious island. Grab that, then move towards these others. You'll get back into the fight shortly. Humphrey Brookert, you're gonna head to... Deravan Libre. Yeah, okay, you're gonna head over there. Go into march stance. And go here. We never encountered Grom the Paunch, right? I mean, we saw him, but I don't know what happened to his army. Maybe he was defeated by Carcassonne or somebody. Not that it's our problem. Anyway, you're gonna go to Orcamont first.
To strengthen the Empire.
Any Grom the Paunches around here? I don't see him. Alright, go grab that before the Bretonnians do. Alright, and the rest of this looks okay. What's our defenses like at Castle Brienne? They're pretty strong, so even if these guys do go after them, they should probably be pretty okay. Torbadoos, we were intending to trade for Fort Berg-Bray, I believe, or one of the other settlements. And oh, you know what I should do? I should have you grab Tourist Vigilance, and you know what? Maybe we'll just get out to Free Lord like you. Okay, maybe a more terrible Free Lord. Huntsman General. Sorry, Huntsman General, you. Go grab this. Also potentially to trade for the Bretonnians, obviously. Theodoric von Bluten and Baldric Stroam, you guys are ready to attack these settlements. I guess all of you are kind of at the same time. Oh, one of you will need to head towards Vidovdan because you can't really do it yourselves. Alright, fine. Which one of you has the siege attacker? Wait, this is... Okay, so Kypros needs siege attacker. You don't have siege attacker, you do. Meaning we'll send you down to Mantreda. You are currently at war with Karaz-a-Karak and Bugman's Brewery. Alright, so Bugman's Brewery, I'd like to test you first. How much... Join war against Yellow Eye. 3.1. And just to double check, you still won't do Karak Angaz... Okay, I always forget which one it is. Karak Angazar and Karak Gantuk. Okay, so Karak Gantuk... 65 versus Wusterberg. 14. Again, we could do it if we give them the military alliance. Or paid them 16,000 gold in a defensive alliance. That would allow us to save the military alliance, but it's probably not worth it. I'm actually surprised that they're not more willing to trade, because I'm pretty sure this is a climate they don't like. Yeah, it's a -4. They're sitting in climates they don't like, and they're refusing the mountain, but once this levels up, we should still be able to do it. I hope. I guess we'll see. Also, we can just build this here, and then this, and then... go for it. Alrighty, anyway. Now, that doesn't change the fact that you guys will need to attack, so we will still join the war against the Yellow Eye, but we'll just do it for money.
Go on then.
And then we'll have Balderic go into Trencher Stance and knock out the Mantreda camp, and then move to Moslek. And like so. This better not kill half our army. Nope, it's fine. This faction should be destroyed now. There was really nothing there. There we go. And then you can head to Moslek, which is... I mean, it's got some stuff. What does the auto-resolve say? Yeah, decisive victory, low casualties, not gonna bother. Quick save just in case, because we haven't done a lot of auto-resolves with this army, and I don't trust the auto-resolve not to kill the Wolfkin.
All or nothing.
Which they did, but not so bad.
Claims for the Empire.
No real stack not worthy of a fight, especially since it's a minor settlement battle and they would have gotten obliterated. Anyway, you can go to Vidovdan with the help of Simon Pfeiffer next turn. Simon, you can raid this territory right here. Free a little bit of cash. Elspeth, you're going to push on towards Somjek. The reason I decided to move Elspeth this way was because the dwarfs are nearby, and I don't want them to take all this territory before we have the chance to. I want them to move towards Grimgor to reclaim the realms, not the southern realms, but the Karaz-a-Karak, the mountain realms. Anyway, alright. It's gonna kill our war wagons, isn't it? I know it says low casualties. I know that's what it says. Hey, it only killed a pile of Knights of the Black Rose. Okay, what the heck, auto-resolve? I never know what it's gonna do. Hey, another asp bow. That's great. That one is gonna come in handy. Don't bother with the Shrine of Sigmar. Don't bother with the barracks, at least for now. Don't collect the income either. We can start upgrading the Imperial Harbor, however, and definitely go for the paved roads as well for the additional movement range. Alright. Looks good to me, and I assume that that was also horrifically out of order, wasn't it?
As soon as I am able.
I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Also, you two are supposed to join Elspeth, especially when she gets her tank, which I think we might be able to start recruiting shortly. Dwarf Seer's just perked up. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, let's move the Tech Thieves right now immediately, actually, because I'm gonna forget and then take a territory that should be thieved from. And then that's not gonna be a great thing. Mr. Ha. Warzag, you've moved out of Gronti Mingle. Oh, I wanted to have you fight Gelt. Well, come on, man. You like magic, don't you? You want to fight Gelt, don't you? And again, that's out of order. You can pop into raiding stance. This army's at full HP, so raid here, get ready to move to Gronti Mingle. Let's see if Mr. Warzag is willing to land and defend it. He does have a pretty solid stack, after all. Frankly, we're in raiding stance, so he could go through this and attempt to attack us. I'm certainly willing to give him a shot. Anyway, Tech Thief. Steal from Toranrock just a couple more times, and then we will be occupying it for ourselves once we're at war with the Iron Clawworks. Anyway, that was horrifically out of order. You know what, let's do Karl Franz's fight so I don't have to see him with half of his movement range every single time. Go.
With me, men of the Empire! For Sigmar! For the Empire! For the Warhammer!
Alright, always for the Warhammer, Karl. Here we go, and with Karl helping out, I guess we've got 3 armies in Norska at this point, which is admittedly pretty nice. I mean, Karl's not going to be here forever, he's got other legends to hunt down, but it is still good to take the fight to them, rather than letting them sort of reeve up and down the coastline. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off with Karl and Deathclaw heading down to fight Big Boy here, a War Mammoth, that is and got a bunch of units with it, including Marauder champions and Berserkers. The champions, two champions with great weapons, have a lot of armor piercing on them, so we will have to be a little bit careful with Karl, especially as, again, we don't have the Life Wizard in this army. However, Ludwig Schwarzhelm is going to lead his unit of Royal Altdorf Griffites to the Emperor's side and barrel through the enemy lines. We do have to be a little bit careful with the Royal Altdorf Griffites. They do have 32 models in their number, which is a fair bit, unlike, I don't know, like a unit of Grail Knights or something like that. So each individual unit won't have as much health. What they do have, however, is area attacks, which is pretty good still, considering the number of units in their number. And they are pretty darn tanky. We've got, let's see. Withstand your ground, they're currently up at 107. Melee defense, that is. Anyway, and they're in the fight against those armor-piercing great weapons, and we definitely want to see them get a little bit of action while the rest of our army starts to make its way up the ramp and into the enemy settlement. The Empire Captain that leads the Knights forward together with the Karobergs behind them, the Warrior Priest moving together with the Teutogan Guard, and then the regular Great Swords and range units following behind. Nice ordered ranks, though of course that'll all devolve into a brutal melee once we engage with the Norskans. And down goes the Mammoth as Karl topples it at last. Does take about 30% of his HP, but like I said, it's a nice thing to let him live a little bit more dangerously rather than just always overheal him with the Lure of Life. That way, when he fights things like Archaon or Kolek, they'll actually have a chance to defeat him, if we're not careful. Anyway, oh wow, that was a lot of splash damage. Damn, I mean, it is Deathclaw, but still kind of impressive. And big old wing flaps. Anyway, the Royal Altdorf Griffites have now suffered about 40% of their HP in damage, so we got to start being a little bit more careful with them and withdraw them. They have been also taking hits from the enemy anti-large Javelineers, so we're going to have to try to clear at least a few of those out with a little bit of spell work, or by bringing our own range units into the fray. Norskan Ice Wolves, I always get shocked at how the dog units are, how big they always are. I mean, compared to regular-sized infantry. Because, you know, when you're in tactical view, they always look like such small models by comparison, and they are theoretically small units, as in unit size, but nonetheless. Anyway, oh, wait, actually, I lied. Norskan Ice Wolves are large units. Go figure. Okay, well, dogs are usually small. I guess they're the same size as flesh hounds then. Alright, makes sense. But anyway, trolls have made their way forward. The Teutogan Guard and the Reiksguard are holding them, as in the Imperial Foot, and the Royal Altdorf Griffites will move on in to add their high damage dealing and bring down those trolls. I really love the color scheme on the on the Royal Altdorf Griffites. I don't know what to call it, the sort of metallic blue-gray together with the gold and red. Looks fantastic. I wish we could have a whole army with this color scheme. And yes, I do I do gush over random color schemes a lot. Guys, I'm trying to live vicariously here. We have no army painter in the game, and it's all I can do. Anyway, we have made it through the breach and up the ramp as the enemies that have blocked us off from heading into the enemy settlement have been cleared out, and it's now time to start separating our troops. One contingent of infantry will head up the ramp together with Karl towards the enemy Marauder Chieftain. Ludwig Schwarzhelm will lead his Royal Altdorf Griffites to hunt down any other units of range that he can find, since they so annoyed our Griffites here. And of course, at the same time, we can see in the background that our other cavalry units are streaming into the settlement. The Reiksguard will, of course, lead, and they'll join in chasing down any enemy range units. I like this one. Oh, lovely. And of course, we got a little bit of range support, or at least potential range support, coming in from the Noble Sons Abroad. 150 range on them. Pretty darn solid. Alright, the battle is turning very much in our favor. The bounce power is at about 70%. We're trying to forego using ranged, or not range, well, range 2, but magical damage too much. While we have dropped a couple of Gehenna's Golden Hounds on specifically the enemy Javelineers, we have not used the single Searing Doom, despite the enemies blobbing up for us repeatedly. Anyway, Karl's gonna come down, but it looks like neither the Skinwolf Werekin nor the enemy Lord wants to fight him, and, well, they're gonna send another Marauder Chieftain, or they're gonna send the Marauder Chieftain? Nope, they're also gonna bypass him, but at least we have forced the Skinwolf to turn. And by turn, I mean turn into a pile of mush, because 3 blows, 4 blows, and down goes the wolf. Karl will be heading towards the other lords in the meantime, while we... ooh, wow, nice charge from the mammoth. And using its mass to push the Teutogan guard aside. But I'm sure they can hold it back decently well, and the mammoth is admittedly down to nearly 50% before Karl has even attacked it. And Karl's having a little bit of a difficult time landing. It does happen sometimes, especially with the bigger mass units like this. There we go. Oh, actually, no, maybe. This used to be a major bug in, I guess, the early days of Total Warhammer 3. I remember trying to land like a Bloodthirster or something and having just an absolutely massive issue with it. But they sort of fixed it, so it's rarely an issue nowadays. Anyway, the battles. So, with that, actually, I was about to say what was happening over on the left flank, but it looks like the mammoth topples and the Lord is done, and the battle is in fact ours. Alright, a little bit more sudden than I was expecting, but, well, we were always expecting to win this one. Throggy should have made his last stand here in the lair of the Troll King instead of falling in the field. Alright, there we go. Kept that battle pretty fun without, you know, using the Gold Wizard to do more than a little bit of damage on some of the enemy range, but otherwise allowing all of our units, especially the Royal Altdorf Griffites, led by Ludwig Schwarzhelm, to fight, who got 16,000 damage and 45,000 damage on the Griffites as well. Solid work out of our various melee units, including one of the Teutogan Guard, which, well, admittedly, were behind the Order of the Reich and the Königsguard in terms of their position, so unsurprising, but it is a, you know, choke point battle, so. Occupy, well, we could sack it. I mean, it's not like we're holding on to it, it's free money. And it's not like Boris will be able to pay the entire cost of the place anyway. On the other hand, do we care about giving him a, well, you know what, I know it's 4.6k, but maybe we will capture it instead of sacking it as it is. It's just that giving Boris a higher tier settlement that's kind of essentially safe from most other enemies might actually be a pretty solid idea. We're good allies. Anyway, as servant for enemy, or enemy hero success chance reduction, mission successfuls. Oh, yeah, so there was good reason to go up there, so that's more allegiance. Kill Grimgor. Oh, he's down here. Maybe we'll have the ability to face off against him soon. Alright, and he is worth 21 allegiance, so yeah, alright, Karaz-a-Karak, we'll do that for you, since you couldn't handle Grimgor yourself. Next up, who do we have? In the order, I mean. Leopold and Philip Ivan. Okay, Leopold, you actually do have to move unlike the other guy, and you're gonna transfer these 2 mortars to Albrecht, who... I guess remove 1 Outrider? I mean, we should have some mortars. Admittedly, it might be better to have, War Wagon mortars, but whatever. All good for now. I'm gonna replace a couple of these with Sutzen's guns anyway. Take out this unit of grenade launchers, and the army is more or less ready to go, other than the fact that we don't like the Lord. We probably should have a second engineer and a mage in here as well. Which would mean removing 2 units, and I'm not sure which ones, but anyway. Maybe the Cathan grenades were actually a little bit much. Oh, we can build the mages here as well. Probably would warrant to fire a mage. Ooh, you... Wait, is this a hazard technician? It is a hazard technician. Somebody else will need a hazard technician as well. Let's take a look at the master engineers. Ingenious and optical specialist. Another ingenious and another optical okay. I really wanted the ones with range for the army rather than these guys. You know what? Maybe we'll just temporarily use one of these guys. Troop train was reset, right? We could use the ingenious one. Free XP gain per turn, etc., etc. Well, I guess you're a recruiter, so we could use you elsewhere. Alright, fine. We'll use the troop train
If you want it done right,
instead. We'll send you out and then we'll replace the troop train as needed. At least it'll be easy to identify which lord needs replacing that way. I just didn't want to spend the money on getting one of these guys up and running. So optical specialist troop train. We'll have you grab hold of the army and then we'll move you to help out with these guys. And depending on whether you pass or Von Kessel passes you or whether he... do I have you channel? No, you're fine. Or whether you beat him to the Albion Bowl, you'll have stuff to do there. Anyway, who's next? Wolfric, you're still waiting, buddy. Sorry, Marius. Alrighty, so I see those rats are gone. And I don't see their other armies. Grutnik's other armies, I mean. A light dwarf. I would like you to do things. Okay, first of all, we're going to move Gustav Hall to Castle Drakenhof. And yes, I don't see any more of those rats. I would like Lightdorf to take a look at the iron skins for a second here. 15, eh? Okay, I'd like to build 2 of them at the same time. Basically, for Lightdorf, what I envision for his army is just a ton of ogres, and then just regular crossbows. And maybe some mortars as well. Actually, Citizens guns might be nice, because they would not be hurting the ogre mainline, and the regular ogre bulls are pretty fragile. But yeah, I want like 5 regular ogre bulls to mix with the Grand Cauldron regulars so that we have some basic weak ogre bulls essentially, so as to not overpower the army. Since AI is kind of bad at dealing with ogre, generally spam speaking. Anyway, you, Hammer the Witches, are going to go to Volkmar, but he's going to wait a turn anyway, so we can just wait on that. So I guess Lightdorf, you could just sit here. Oh, you're also going to need a mage. What kind of mage would go nicely? I mean, beasts probably, but I started to feel like we got too many beasts. You know what? Maybe we'll do a Jade Wizard for you. The ogres, the ogre bulls are going to be super fragile and they might need the additional buffs on them. Admittedly, the armor from the Beast Wizard would also be lovely on them, but, you know. Admittedly, though, I'm not a huge fan of most of these, although I guess Sorcerer with the Winds of Magic cost reduction. Let's do that. Alrighty. And additionally, that will combine with A, the Hall of Duels, which is an additional 10% magic cost reduction, and we venerated Shalia, so we've got another magic cost reduction, and then we've got Jade Scholar, which is another magic cost reduction, so admittedly, we should be really spamming Jade Wizards, but they're already so strong that I don't want to overdo it. Anyway, Nature's Blessing for you, Battle Healing Cap for the army will help out. Let's immediately go through Life Bloom and max out, or at the very least get points in Earthblood and Shield of Thorns. Definitely want to get at least 1 point in all of these spells. Normally I'd probably go for these, but, you know, it's... the stuff in here is just too good. Let's also max out Shield of Thorns and Earthblood. Those are the spells that we spam most by far in this particular lore. And otherwise, I mean, I guess we want to be able to overcast Regrowth, in theory. Alright, fine. And while we're at it, you should have a spare Rod of Assure to go to, yeah? I'm gonna figure out who I want to give that Rune Fang to, which is pretty good. Basic armors. Which armors have we been giving wizards? Have I been giving wizards any kind of armors? I don't remember. Potion of Foolhardiness. Just checking if there's anything else that we need to swap out. Obsidian Lodestone, yes. Forest Cloak, probably not for you. Handgun Armor Fortune for Lords. These... we're technically going to go for heroes. And we'll probably give them to Empire Captains, because Lords will have better stuff. The Trickster Shards will probably be melted away into becoming... oh, actually you are the only ones that shouldn't have Books of Assure. You should have Forbidden Rods. Basically keep you casting forever. These 2 Trickster Shards are going to Gelt's Apprentices. Talisman of Preservation was... going to... I forget if... no, Boris has the Cloak of Ulrich. It was going to go to somebody... and Elspeth has the Death's Time. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Eventually. At some point. Anyway, Marius, I guess you're just gonna sit here. For a turn or 2. I mean, I guess you could march this way and have somebody else recruit just to help out against the rats. Yeah, fine. Why not? They'll be annoying otherwise. Let's march this way, and if you get ambushed, you get ambushed. I mean, again, that's Marius Lightdorf, so if anybody's gonna get ambushed... go, go, go. Alright. And of course I've lost my place, so let's find wherever it was you were in here, and... okay, I might have gone past you now. I see recruiters, I see Boris, I see Stefan. Oh, okay, that's everybody. It's actually genuinely everybody except Dolph who has to fight, and except building buildings, which still has to be done. Okay, building buildings, you're going to go for Imperial Architect. We completed firing drills. We got to complete this for the construction time reduction for all buildings, which would be real nice. Otherwise, I guess we will get some money out of the attack with Dolph, so let's fight this. It says Pyrrhic victory, and once again, it is not a minor settlement? It is not a minor settlement. Alright, nonetheless, I guess we'll still do it cinematically. I think the enemy has no chance whatsoever here, but who knows? Give him a chance.
Follow my battle schematics, and victory shall be
Alrighty, well, I don't doubt that victory shall be ours there, Dolph, but we will keep it a little bit more interesting this time, kind of just like last episode as well. Just give the old sporting chance where we can. I guess, you know, sort of, the more experience you have with the game, the more you get a sort of, I don't know, an outlook or get an inkling of where you can push your army or armies, where you can sort of deploy or disadvantage yourself to give a nicer battle. And, well, we'll give the AI what we can in this particular fight, and what we can is make the run-and-gun army sit still and not run and gun. We've taken up position up on this small hill, and we're going to allow the entire enemy workforce to charge towards us without ever moving back. No ground shall be given any more than any quarter shall be given. Here we go. Enemy is closing the distance now, but as soon as they get in range of our piles of, well, everything, gunners, I guess, that's when we'll activate the double buff that this army is, well, if not quite known for, is very, very good with. There we go. The buff comes up, and suddenly everybody is hitting so dang much harder. The Nordland Mariners start hitting for 155 weapon strength. Effectively, Nordland Mariners start hitting as hard as Outriders, and then Outriders start hitting 255. So Outrider, yeah. Free Company become Outriders, Outriders become artillery. It's a pretty crazy amount of extra damage between the ballistics calibration and a flaming sword of ruin. Let's see if the damage will be faster than the orky feet, I guess, as they carry them towards us. Gun them all down. And if they reach us, more power to them, I guess. I love the sound of those pistols. And all the long guns as well. Gotta love Free Company. I'll say it again for the 50th time. Anyway, we may be giving the AI the old sporting chance, but it doesn't mean we won't use spell work either. Gonna get a burning head moving through the enemy lines. Our Witch Hunter out front as always, just to get ready to pop accusation on any enemies to debuff them as needed. Over on the left flank, I do believe the enemies have started to reach us here, and a Black Orc Big Boss is charging towards that Witch Hunter in the second line. He's going to take a big volley from several units, and just as he closes the distance, one swing from the Witch Hunter executes him. Absolute perfection. Otherwise, the bounce power has shifted to 90% in our favor now. Black Orcs have, however, reached the Noble Sons Abroad and the Pistoliers, and these two units have lost about 10 of their number so far. Now, that said, the battle is pretty much ours at this point, and we're free to sort of withdraw these units slightly, as Dolph gets one last classic charge in with his steam tank. Oh, I gotta love these freaking things. 105 speed now, 340 kills. I don't know how he's killing so much, but it's pretty darn impressive. Once again, I can't wait to build a Steam Tank Lord, a Master Engineer Lord, specifically with the buffs that buff him with that, you know, more powerful grenade launcher rather than buffing the army. I'm only going to put that in one of our armies. I want to see what heights we can take a Engineer Lord like that. And then maybe give them the various items that actually buff their range damage rather than sort of more supporty items like the flammable thing, though it does help with the Flaming Sword of Ruin and debuffing the enemy further. Anyway, now the enemy is done, but I don't think any of us had any doubts, regardless of the fact that we didn't run or gun. Alright, there we go. Unsurprising result from Dolph, but we kept it a little bit more fun by not doing any running and gunning there, as it wasn't needed against only one stack. Probably the way to do it in the future. Do we have range to sack this before we... Just guess we're gonna find out. Yes, we do. Alright, we sacked it, and got a free scroll of power out of it. Let's grab Ironskin's hold, occupy. I guess the Ironskins shouldn't have joined Grimgore's Confederation after all. Not gonna repair. We don't really care what happens to it, and we will most likely trade it to the dwarfs. I only say most likely, depending on whether it, well, if we manage to keep it, because, well, that'll be somewhat, at least, the dwarfs' problem. Anyway, who was after Dolph? Oh, nobody. We've got buildings to be building, though... The builder has moved, yes? Okay, have to just double check. Alright, that means we're free to most likely start from the bottom. There's probably nothing super critical. Ooh. Stedham. Where is Stedham? It's all the way up here. And it'll probably take a while for the builder to get up here. We can upgrade you to tier 5. There goes all our money. Is it worth it right now, or is it... Well, you know what? Let's skip all the 0 ones. Well, actually, wait, no, we shouldn't, because some of them are not for trading. Some of them are genuinely for... just to be built up. Alright, but nonetheless, there's probably several places here that have to be making us money, like... Well, maybe not you specifically, but let's get you a weaving house, and let's get you the Wizard's Conclave, because we're doing those everywhere. And then I guess we'll want to upgrade those so we can keep in your current state. The Black Pit, yeah, sure, weaving houses. More weaving houses. Don't have one at Fort Solace, but it's by and large a military province, and we can ignore it for now. Ashmere and Marble Massif, we are most likely keeping the places, but we do need military structures here. Oh, wow, it's going to take a long time to upgrade you. It is a yellow territory, unfortunately. Let me just see here. So the Shrine of Sigmar is in the regular Shrine of Sigmar would... Oh, man, yeah. Well, at the time it takes to build everything, it might not be worth it. Maybe we're just better. Yeah, it might actually be faster to build the stuff here and then just transfer stuff over. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. We may thus get a benefit out of not collecting the income out of this province, letting it grow further faster so that we can upgrade SF's Key and Hall of Rebirth, upgrade to tier 3, and we can construct there. The other option would be to take a settlement from these guys quick as we can out on this side and then start building up on that side instead. I'm gonna have to give that some thought. For now, though, Doom Mountain. I guess we're gonna go with the paved roads then. Increase everybody's speed. And I guess we can start upgrading Ashmere. I guess the Skaven moved away from it. They were going to attack, and I canceled the building construction there as well. And then I guess we're good now. Alright, well, not complaining. Watch them come back next turn, because I said not complaining. Anyway, Grenstad, yes to the money-making UK. I went past where we originally were, didn't I? Newland, you're fine. Oh, actually, are you fine? So Volkmar's going to be back in a while. We probably can't afford another Wildwood Ranger. Well, actually, they're reasonably cheap. It's the better thing about using them rather than Sisters or War Dancers. And get them at least on field faster. Otherwise, what do we have here? Oh, yes, Weiler, we can go for the cattle ranch. I'm just kind of clicking at random now because I know we don't have enough money to upgrade everything at once, so we may as well just upgrade whatever it is we can, at least of the stuff that makes us money. Immediate returns are needed. Let's do Northern Marches, yes, and yeah, it can keep the rally field. Might as well upgrade the town, and might as well upgrade the grazing pastures there. Bleak Moors, yes to the money. And the port, and the additional money. And what else do we have here? Yeah, I guess we could go for the paved roads. We can go for... Oh, the public order is okay, so just leave it there. And Dukelberg, you're mostly fine. Ubersreich needs to be upgraded to tier 5. It's just not worth the investment right now because we have other things to be getting along with. Tailor's Guild to yes, however. And Fur Trader, whatever that is, also yes. You can also go for the paved roads. Public order is needed here as well, so... well, actually, no. This should be Minor God's Temple, Minor God's Temple, Minor God's Temple, meaning this is the only public order building. So we might have to do it in the main settlement, which is fine. And I just saw that we had enough money to upgrade you, so we'll upgrade you as a priority. There we go. Alright, and like I said, yeah, we need so much money. We have a pretty big empire, and we gotta develop it. Although, lorefully, it kind of does make sense that we have a few hyper-developed territories, but, I mean, mostly the Empire remains basically an agrarian society. We're about, I don't know, maybe a few hundred years out from full-on industrial revolution, so, yeah. Anyway, I believe we're ready to end the turn, so we can skip building damage? Where? Alright, I really gotta give these to the dwarfs. We can't give them to them across the mountains. Okay, you know what, Elspeth? If we have you take Brasov, maybe we... Oh, actually, I just had another idea. If we have you march stance here, we can have you take Brasov, Elspeth to reinforce in march stance, maybe, and then I'll allow her to move further? As in, start moving this way. Because she'll want to take Zenris and give it to these guys before they take... Well, actually, if they take it themselves, that would be great. But I doubt that they will, so there is that to consider. And I guess we'll have to just take Ypres with Theodric von Blutten, who apparently I forgot to move. Oh, I'm glad I looked here. I was about to end the turn. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you do things out of order, people. Let's go to Mantreda. Actually, considering he has swordsmen, we could maybe give him some Swords of Ulrich at something... Oh, really? Is this a minor settlement battle? Oh, it is. Okay, we might actually have to work for this one. Sure, why not? I like it. Let's see what we have. You have everything but taste for battle, which is cavalry, and we don't have cavalry in this army, so that's fine. Mark of Hish. The rest of this is fine. We could move through this, but I think we're okay. Hard to hit. Well, let's get Mark of Hish. And then let's go for, I'm going to say Scarred Vet. You're currently on the Imperial Griffin as well. I probably, or at least there's a decent likelihood that I take you off of that, but we shall see. Otherwise, the Caster. Comet of Cassandora might come in handy between the, in the choke points and then the Roiling Skies, I guess, as well. And there we go. Let's hit Mantreda before we end the turn, then. Alright, here we go. I do enjoy this army as well. It's sort of our most basic army, I suppose. Lots of regular swords, free company, regular handguns, all that sort of thing. Should be a pretty fun fight, is what I'm getting that excuse me. We're going to start the battle off by heading towards that catapult tower and dropping a chain lightning and down on the enemy below. And we're probably not going to do too much damage to the boar boys, although 30-40% damage, not too bad. And heavily damaged 2 units of Orc Biggins. Funnily enough, I was hoping to clip the range unit. Oh, like maybe not. Oh wait, that was the next one. Okay, we'll wait on that one. There will be another chain lightning anyway. Yeah, those 2 units are pretty much out, and the boar boys are down to half HP, which is pretty decent. Otherwise, we're going to start taking up position, but mostly at this point just to block the enemy off. We have to get our war wagons in, and we have to get our handgunners set up to attack any enemies that move towards us. In terms of the type of setup we've got here, we've got the 2 Free Company militia essentially in the center of the battle line, and the war wagons behind the piles of melee units, with the idea that the Free Company militias can fire essentially everywhere here, while the enemy gets stuck fighting the great swords and the swordsmen. And of course, we still got to work on the enemy towers and all that, so still got a deal. Otherwise, the handgunners, the regular and the not so regular, have moved on in. And the Nuln Ironsides and the regular handgunners will work together to be the second line, and then directly behind them we still also have the Hochland long rifles, which are going to provide additional fire support. Alright, and I do really like this this particular minor settlement map. I think this might be my favorite minor settlement map, because the reason I like this one is that there isn't any particular location where you have a super big advantage or disadvantage in terms of attacking. You can attack here, you can attack here, or you can attack here and here, and sort of change it up without feeling like you're screwing yourself over by taking a severely disadvantaged position in terms of the deployment, which means I really like this map. Because depending on my mood, I will attack on one of any of those locations. Anyway, we've set up a nice little formation, and everybody has moved into position now. The enemy towers are down. Looks like the enemy is having a little bit of a tough time trying to actually move towards us, however. Which doesn't make sense. If the boar boys should charge forward, we've got the range of the handgunners and stuff right about there, so if they move, they'll just get gunned down by all of this. That said, we do still have to start making our way towards the enemy settlement. Though admittedly there is advantage to be had here in using our mortar war wagon, our spells, and a little bit of work from Theodric himself to knock out all those orc error boys so that they cannot fire their indirect fire over the walls and continue to annoy us. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit as we reposition ourselves and get ready to continue fighting. Alright, there we go. Up here we got the Great Swords Cleavers Company at the top of the wall, and looks like they're going to take a charge from those boar boys. Hopefully not too many go flying too far, as the danger of deploying on a cliff like this is that a charge can kill individual units if they, I guess, drop down too far. I'm going to help out a little bit by moving Theodric down, and I noticed that our guns aren't firing, so we're going to... There we go. I'm going to move down the ramp a little bit more. It looks like the line of sight was just a tiny bit blocked by the great swords. But now that they're not blocked, the regular rifles, the regular handguns, I guess, and the repeater rifles of the unknown iron sides will start working on those boar boys, the first of the units being nearly out of the picture already. We got a new full HP unit and 2 more units of orc biggins heading down towards these swords and great swords below, all the while taking hits from our guns. Lovely. I'm going to help out with a little bit with a wind blast through the enemy, partially to do a bit of damage, partially to disrupt the enemy formation, and we're going to try to repeat the same sort of situation down on the lower portion of the enemy settlement. Fighting in 2 places at once, though, so we can only more or less watch one of them. And I do find this little fight on the ramp, a little bit more interesting. Guns continue to fire. Right over the head of our units, we can see our units of, or our chain lightning over in the background, which is going after those enemy missile troops, and I don't think we've used one of these in this campaign yet, big old Comet of Cassandora gonna come down on the enemy as well. There we go. I think that thing doesn't have perfect accuracy, like it'll land sort of close to where you, like I think I put it here and then I decided to go over there. And probably slightly clipped our own units, which we're going to with the draw now. And definitely in sort of holding enemies back like this, especially when you have weaker units like swords, and to some degree the swords, or great swords, I mean, great swords aren't on par with the elite infantry of other factions. Well, maybe on par with Stormburn, but not on par with, like, Blackguard of Nagorond and stuff like that. But anyway, what I'm getting at is they're reasonably fragile, and it's better to rotate your troops in those situations, so we're going to back the Great Swords off. Once the swordsmen, the regular swordsmen, have taken sufficient damage, being a tier 1 unit and all, that should be pretty quick, and we'll back them off too. Fortunately, it looks like the corpses of the greenskins are piling up on this ramp, taking heads off shoulders with our gunners, and it looks like the ramp is nearly ours. Same sort of situation repeating itself down in the settlement below as well. We're trying to position ourselves so that there is a sort of hole in our lines through which all of the gunners can fire as well. And it's working pretty nicely. Especially as most of the enemy missile troops are in trouble or have otherwise been cleared. Alright, just watching the, well, not so much fireworks, gunworks, I guess. Alright, beautiful. And looks like we found another unit of archers, but fortunately Theodric is on top of that, and we've got a unit of Free Company militia helping gun him down. Only 30 damage on these guys without the kind of buffs that Dolph can give them with the double buff that we've got, who make him hit 4 times as hard. Or 3 times as hard, but anyway, still a lot. Well, actually, no, 4 times as hard. They were close to 120. 115. Which is just absolute insanity, but anyway. Just the kind of thing you can do with lots of buffs. I mean, you could do, in the Thorgrim campaign, we also took some units to absolute insane heights. I think with the buffs of Grumbrindle and ballistics calibration and a couple of other things, we were able to get Trollhammer torpedoes over 1,000 damage. But obviously you gotta build for it. But anyway, and of course, Grimbrindle buffs them. Anyway, I'm getting distracted as usual. The bounce power's at about 90% in our favor. Only a few enemy units remain. A bunch of enemies are running away, but we're going to punish them for running in a sort of blob. Another chain lightning. The third coming down on the enemy. Mortar shells continue to drop. A few units have rallied, but we're going to charge them directly with our swords and cut down those biggins. And there we go, the biggins run again, and with them the last of the enemies have given up on defending this, and with that, this battle is ours again. And a pretty darn nice one at that. Really enjoyed it. Did I say the threshold stuff? Remember the threshold, likes and comments below, long episodes, 300 likes, 60 comments, whatever it was I said. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Nice little classic Imperial army. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, limited artillery and all that. Just good old-fashioned magic guns and swords and stuff. And admittedly, a lot of magic. Celestial Wizard got 904 kills and 124,000 damage, but we had plenty of work from the guns as well. The Ironsides, even the regular handgunners that have a decent presence in this particular army. A little bit of work from the war wagons, especially the first unit, whether it be mortar or regular. Nice job, everybody. Alrighty, we will occupy the place for ourselves, like so. Charcoal burner, a potion of healing, nice pickup. Another coachman. Okay, we actually have to give that to somebody. Do you have a coachman? You do not have a coachman. Alright, let me guess. Oh, no, you can. I was about to say, let me guess. You can't use coachman, but it looks like you can. Alrighty. Well, that looks good to me then. And assuming that... Oh, I forgot a thing. I was going to get a recruiter lord here to recruit more stuff so that we can... Because it's going to be a bit before you're on the field. Recruiter Ogden was the guy. Olden, rather. And you can get off that horse. You're just here to recruit stuff. I would like you to go into Route Marcher, Leader of Renown. Obviously, the Arch-Lectors are the better recruiters, but... these guys can still level up into Endless Tinkerer, and while we need additional research, I feel like it's still useful. Iron Disciplinarian, Irrepressible, and then I guess start going through Quartermaster until you're in Headhunter. Frankly, you're not going to be that much stronger of a recruiter than the other guy, but it is what it is. Let's see. Now, I'm gonna say that if we're gonna do some war... I really don't remember what Marcus does. Does he buff war wagons in addition to Huntsman? I would assume that he does, since they came with his DLC, unless I'm mistaken. Could pop some Bismarck's welcomers in his army as well. You are also going to recruit some Huntsmen. Oh, well, I guess next turn we will have the ability to recruit Huntsmen directly, so yeah, I guess I could have waited until next turn. Alright, that's fine then. That works, we'll take it. Otherwise, I assume that was in fact the last guy that we had to move this turn, so we are ready to end the same said turn. Alright, skip. Lord not moved. Did we do Diplo this turn, however? That I don't know. Oh, we don't have any new missions. What about quick deals? Any trade agreements available? Yes, we did not do Diplo. Gonna have to go with Yvresse.
Speak plainly.
Yeah, they don't want a non-aggression pact. Okay. And they're not fighting Wurzag. What are you doing? Well, at least they're friendly with the lizard, so there's no likelihood of them fighting each other. They probably pieced out with the Wurzag, admittedly. Yeah, 1,500 gold per turn extra. That's not so bad for a single little trade agreement. Sylvania still wants to trade. We're gonna need to wipe them out. Rather than confederate them. Sithrall nearly there for the non-aggression pack. Lucini, Argolon nearly there as well. We'll ignore Lucini for now. Vizea, Bugmans, and Carcassor will ignore for the alliances. We could do the military alliance with the Defenders of the Great Plain. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that they're not super friendly with... I don't remember who. We checked somebody. Was it the Kislevites? No, they just don't have diplomatic contact with the Kislevites. No, they're friendly with Khemri. Huh. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Alright, fine, just go for the military alliance with them then. And just for the additional... actually... Well, I'm just going to assume that we can recruit some decent stuff out of them. Go for it. Military alliance means more allegiance after all, and we will want to take, we will want to get some good use out of that. Alrighty. That looks good to me. And nearly 50,000 gold per turn. Good, but considering how expensive everything is, it's not good enough as yet. Outpost available, ignored, and turn. Warzag will take advantage of the fact that we are winded due to being in a raiding stance. Alright, good job, Warzag. I'm duly impressed. Let's see what you can do.
Sigmar calls.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's see if Warzag can punish us for being in a raiding stance or whether he cannot. We've got a pretty good position in this particular location, and we've actually deployed a little bit closer to the enemy army than we needed to. We can see that they're deployed about 3/4 of the way towards our artillery range, but I think that this hill is a better position in some ways than being down here, even if it would allow our artillery to fire for a longer time. We've got the hill which we can effectively block off A, and B, it'll allow some of the enemy to reach our melee lines and thus allow them to do some work. Anyway, while I don't want to overdo magic in some armies, Gelt is obviously going to spam everything he can. And he's going to start with that Gehenna's Golden Hounds and a big blob of enemies, a final transmutation on Warzag, even as he comes down together with his Empire Captain and his Pegasus to hunt down Warzag as well. Last time I played Karl, I actually had Gelt, I gave him a unit of Royal Pegasus Knights from Bretonnia, and admittedly I did really like that dynamic, so I might repeat it again, because I think it was a good one. Because they and Gelt can jump on down on pretty much anybody, pop off that Plague of Rust upgraded, make anybody's armor go down to 0, and absolutely tear them to shreds. Anyway, Warzag's down to about half HP, but the rest of his units, or at least some of them, are moving on in, while the rest is still heading towards our lines. Trolls are going to smash into the spears. It almost looked for a second like they were going to charge the Silverin Guard, and then stopped just short of that, and instead decided to go for the human spearmen. I don't know if the AI did that on purpose or if it was a coincidence, but it felt probably like the appropriate decision for the trolls to make. Otherwise, we got a Black Orc Big Boss and Boar Boy Chariots, which have arrived to try to deal with the Silverin Guard. Of course, with their higher HP, they do still have that martial prowess, so their melee defense at 60 is pretty darn high. And Boar Boys have crashed into our lines of regular pikes, the non-shielded pikes, and we're going to help them out a little bit by sending the Knights of the Black Rose to countercharge those Boar Boys. These are Savage Orc Boar Boys, however. And that physical resistance is pretty up there. But we do have bleed, and we do have anti-large, and we do still have a fair bit working for us. So yeah, got a nice little brawl going on the front lines, and about half of the enemy army has so far melted away under missile fire. Gelt managed to get out, but unfortunately the Empire Captain got trapped by armored Squig Hoppers and Mangler Squigs. Hopefully he can survive, because generally speaking, I tried to minimize dropping spells on enemy AI being an idiot and, you know, blobbing up around you like that. But all good. A second final transmutation has hit the Warzag, and he's got about 10-15% HP remaining, and will be brought down by Gelt. There we go, and oh no, that looked like a final blow, but apparently it wasn't. That was the final blow. Alright, let us boar run. Have nothing against the boar. Anyway, the giant is arrived on our battle lines and is surrounded by the Silverin Guard, who are actually doing a surprisingly good job. And about 6,000 damage, with a little bit of help from the officer squad, which have racked up 8,000 damage as well. For a summoned unit, that's pretty darn solid, and once again makes it a good idea now to bring Empire Captains. I do like that dynamic, especially with weaker heroes like Empire Captains compared to, you know, heroes from well, I guess many other factions. And that, why are you moving? That's weird. That's very weird. And what the heck? Why are you, it's a desync. I wonder what caused that. Oh, does somebody have Executioner? Yeah, that's interesting. Well, obviously we can see a bunch of our artillery crews moving and abandoning their artillery pieces, and obviously I never did that. I don't know what caused the desync. It might actually be specifically with the artillery. Huh. Wait. Is guard mode not working? Might be guard mode not working. Because the artillery obviously had orders to fire upon specific things, and they were also in guard mode, but they shouldn't be, you know, leaving their positions to go chase them. Not that it matters, of course, because everybody else is doing what they should be doing, by and large. Huh. I think this guy also got away at about half HP, so interesting. Alright, I gotta double check. It might be that somebody has a skill or ability in this particular army that's causing desyncs. Oh, I didn't accidentally give you an Empire Captain with Executor, did I? I gotta double check what this guy has as his ability, because if he has Executor, then that's what caused it. I'm just gonna make a little note for myself on the, on a little post-it. Yeah, alright. Anyway, with that, the battle pretty much comes to a close. The balance power shifts fully in our favor, and the last of the enemies will melt away. I guess we could do a little bit of fighting against these Mangler squigs, or no? Now you're going to follow another order. Alright, well, you could probably guess how that battle turned out. The only major difference, really, as we can see that the other elements of our battle line remained largely intact, is the weirdness with the more sleep delivery system and the other rockets. And they all moved into different positions, too. They're all supposed to be essentially clustered around the engineer, all 5 of them. Interesting desync. Actually, wait, can we check the Empire Captain here? Where is he? Yo. Imperial Endurance, Imperial Allegiance, Guardian, Officer Squad. No, you don't have Executor. What is Imperial Endurance from? Huh. I don't think that's it. Officer Squad, yada yada. Gelt doesn't have Executor, does he? I don't think so, unless he can suddenly turn your bones to gold when you're about to die anyway, though that feels like a little bit of overkill. Tempered Aura, Glittering Robe, curious. Alright, well, I'll double check it again and take a look at the skills of this. What the heck is going on? Well, you can probably guess that the battle has at this point ended, or ended a while ago. Let's watch these last Mangler squigs explode, and there we go with that. The battle is down. Alright, there we go. Nice fight, and credits to Wurzag for actually attempting it. I mean, he was probably never going to get a better chance, considering we were winded due to the ratings, so yeah, good job to him. We're not, I think, so damaged that we shouldn't take the 3.2k, so I think we'll take the 3.2k. Oh wow, I was not expecting these guys to attack us, but I am glad that they are. Pyrrhic victory, and Boris's army is damaged going into it, of course, considering they just landed, so yeah, and we'll certainly fight that. And we do have Matland's Blessing, which we're going to need to keep these guys around since they're fairly damaged. Might keep one of them out of the fight since I don't want this one to take any more damage than it already has. But anyway, and Boris's debut fight, go. Alright, unfortunately guys, and there's nothing I can do about this, but I guess we got some weirdness today, and I really like the griffin on the amber wizard, the sort of greenish plumage. But anyway, just gonna take a quick look at all of the units that we got available, but this will not really be their debut battle because this is a broken fight, and I'll explain in a second. Just want to take a look at those Knights of the White Wolf. Everybody got big ol' hammers. think we got more hammers in the Ulrich army than we got in any of our Sigmarite armies, but, well, we do have the Children of Ulrich, which is what we're calling the things in the woods as well. Though I don't imagine that actual Children of Ulrich look this horrific and are probably closer to skin wolves than these things. But anyway, yeah, so some of you may recognize this battle because we've had this issue, I don't remember what was last time. It's been a bit. This is a broken map. Essentially, this portion of the battle map, I don't know if you can see it on the TAC view, but basically this entire portion of the battle map, it's probably the grayed out portions, like this. This is all impassable terrain, all of this, and the entire enemy army is deployed in this tiny little area where it is passable, but all of this, in fact, it's actually like this, is impassable, meaning it's actually physically impossible for our army to reach the enemy. On top of the fact that we have no range units in this army, we're just going to have to kill them with magic. On top of that, the deployment here is partially within the impassable terrain. You can see with the deployment here. See, there's an invisible line of impassable terrain, basically. And while some of them, I guess some of these guys will get stuck as well, might be able to make it through, most, probably 95% of the enemy army will not. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Basically, I'm just going to spam Flock of Doom over and over and over again until the enemy army is gone, and maybe help out a little bit with Boris, but otherwise, not really a battle. We'll see Boris again. If I could know... Oh, I actually have one unit moving forward. Alright, well, I guess we can watch this one unit get destroyed. At least it's something. Oh, and at least we can check out the Swords of Ulrich, which look really neat. We can't build them. I don't know if we will be able to build them. It depends on... I've got some conflicting information about this. It depends on whether we can activate both the Worship of Sigmar and Worship of Ulrich after we reach the Grand Temples of Ulrich and Sigmar at Tier 5 via the technologies, or whether we still have to pick one or the other. If we can do both, we'll be able to build them. If we cannot, then we will not. For obvious reasons, because we gotta go with Sigmar. But anyway, at least we could see them fight whenever Boris fights, because he's got a, summon them ability with Graph to the end. I got pretty solid stats. Weapon strength is decently high as well for what is basically a swordsman unit. Alright, and then we got a little bit more damage coming in with the other units. And there we go, Warrior Priest in the center of this. And we even got the units of things in the woods moving in, and you gotta admit, with the sort of cloaks on the Wolfkin and on the Teutogan Guard, the skin wolves, things in the woods do fit right in. Ulrich's Teeth retreat? Who said Ulrich's Teeth retreat? None of you are retreating. What are you talking about? I don't think the Norskans are saying Ulrich's Teeth. Well, either way, they're going to be dead soon, including a unit of Marauder Champions, which actually managed to make it through. I like those, I like the yellow shields there. I wonder if there's another unit that we could use to match those guys. I'll think about it. Anyway, I think we can tell how the rest of the battle is going. You can see the just non-stop spam from the Flock of Doom. This guy's already up to 700 kills and 120,000 damage. He's just going to continue until the enemy army shatters. Weird fight, but what can you do? Alright, well, sorry about that, guys. That was disappointing. I can't believe they haven't fixed that map yet. That bug has been around for a long time. And if you can't fix it, take the time to, I don't know, half a second to just remove the broken map, maybe? I mean, it's not gonna take it too long. All he wanted to do was bring the Todd, but alas, he'll have to bring the Todd in another fight. We won't count that as his debut. We'll get another one. On the bright side, though, we get to heal up, which will mean that the things in the woods will be at full HP for the next fight. Alright, campaign movement range, Great Green Killa for Gelty, and at least he got charge bonus for the army, which again will be decent if he wants to keep some steel tech. If he wants to keep some cavalry in his force, which we probably will. Pigeon Plucker Pendant, Giant Blade, another tradesman, another scribe, another smuggler. Mechanical Steed for Otter von Dragon, I don't know who you are. Imperial Griffin for Toddy Boy. Scribe and Yellow Eye fails. Yorick Grim is ready for duty. Aid their cause. Capture and occupy the drowned stuff. Will do. You, go into Nicholas and Milshielder's army until Wolfheart is back up and running in 5 more turns. Okay, it's gonna take a bit, but that's all good. You can now recruit. Huntsman for Mr. Hunter. I guess we'll get him the Death Jacks as well before I forget. Let's get them up and running. I mean, who else is gonna use them, right? Ooh. Huh. Oh, what the heck are you doing, Jiao Ming? You are building piles of peasants, but you can build automatons, great moonbirds, compasses, and whatnot. Maybe you can't afford them, I'm not sure. We should probably try to move towards Great Ohm and grab that for ourselves before anybody else does, though. It's a pretty decent settlement, after all. Or a pretty decent landmark. We will, however, need to recruit the rest of what we've got. Where's Kalara, incidentally? 3 more turns. Okay, so she was wounded for a while. Alright, Emperor Karl Franz suffered attrition? Mutagenic energies again. Oh, that thing is so annoying. Well, what can you do? You know what? We are in range of this place, and they are... nobody's vassals or anything. Alright, fine. Boris, we will ask you... No, you know what? Let's ask these guys. No, you know what? Let's ask the Ice Court. No, you know what? Let's ask the Great Orthodoxy. Join the war against the Sarl. Give us your money. And the reason I didn't want to ask Boris was because he needs his money more than these guys do, which are kind of in a more safe sort of position anyway. And go to Thorshafen. And we'll trade this to Boris. And we'll trade this to Boris as well. I think we won't have range to sack it, so we'll just auto-resolve it. And occupy. Ah, well, it's not worth anything sack-wise anyway. Alright. And I imagine that... oh, this will be our entire movement range. I guess we could go to Wolf Forest after all. In regular stance, I guess. Alrighty, fine. Might as well knock these guys out. Help Boris out, though. He's now losing territory to the Skaven. And, oh, these guys are back. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to get Jürgen to move up there, which is, I guess, fine, considering Boris can grab this place. Assume the tech thieves are not there, which they are not. Okay, good. You, Steel Tech, while we're here. And you land, and then Steel Tech. There we go. Wait, who just got an Imperial Griffin? A tech thief. No Griffin for you, tech thief. You may be critical to what we're doing, but no Griffin for you. Yeah, Boris, back to you, Kent. Why are... oh, you also got me... wait, does every single one of our armies get hit with mutagenic energies? No. I just hit it with the armies that we wanted that to... that was the most annoying. Oh well, alright, we're gonna quick save this in case the things in the woods die, because they got badly hurt last time. Let's auto-resolve, they'll get damaged, and... oh wow, that's not good. Alright, the Amber Wizard is in bad shape. I'm going to say... sack it. And then... encamp. Wait, that won't help? This guy's dead. You gotta be kidding me. Because of the mutagenic energies. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, that's annoying. Well, I guess we did quick save, and the auto-resolve did basically kill this guy. Alright, well, I'm not going to be dealing with this. Alright, I'm gonna make a quick cut here. Actually... no, you know what, I don't want to end the episode on that, you know, non-fight that we got with Boris, so be right back, 1 sec. Alright, let's fight this manually real quick, and I wonder if it's gonna be the same broken battle. Oh, if it's gonna be the same broken battle, it's gonna be a hassle. Let's find out. At least we can full speed through it and just charge directly at whatever. No, it's a minor settlement battle. See, this was, I guess, one of the situations where the enemy shouldn't have sallied out and attacked us, because then we wouldn't have had to deal with their, well, they wouldn't have had to deal with either the annoying broken battle map. Anyway, you're gonna stay out of all of this. Just go over here somewhere we can't get, well... No, you know, I was gonna say you should be casting, but at the same time, I don't want you miscasting, so there is that. Anyway, start battle. You knock this out. We are going to head the guard here. You go here. And let's have these Swords of Ulrich lead. Get you guys ready to move. You guys ready to move. You guys ready to move. Everybody ready to move. Alrighty, and things in the woods you are going to reinforce as soon as everybody's in position. Max speed, Boris, you're going to go after that big old tower. Swords of Ulrich, you're going to charge those Norse controls. And you guys are going to follow suit in a second. And there we go. Boris, knock out that piercing tower, please. And then... Oh, these guys are taking a little bit of damage. Alright, fine. You can reinforce and help them out then. Buff, buff. You guys up here. And just have the cavalry lead. Have more cavalry follow. Good. And how's that tower looking? Oh, these guys are blobbing up nicely. And we could risk you at least popping off a Kettle's Call and doing a little bit of extra damage. Alright, you guys move on in. You can counter trolls at least a teensy bit. Alrighty, and go down on this Marauder Chieftain. You heard me, so I should giggle. Anyway, let's see. You guys are looking good. Swords of Ulrich taking a teensy bit of damage. Now let's do... Alright, let's see if you overcast and damage yourself. At least it still won't kill you. Hey, he didn't get himself killed, or he didn't miscast. Good. Alrighty, you guys head on up here. Kill them all. Boris, you will have killed the chieftain rather soon. Kind of blobbed up, and Boris, you're probably going to take damage like this out of the enemy range unit. There isn't too much we can do about it. What we can do is armor up everybody. Don't miscast this time. You did miscast now. Let's go for Kettle Call. And summon them to annoy those guys together with Boris. And stay out of the rest of this. Alright, there they are. And Boris has landed, or we'll have landed in a few seconds. Go for this. Alright, you're good. Alright, we up here. Alright, go chase down those Marauder Hunters with Javelins. Speed it back up. Silly game. Alrighty. Those mutagenic energies really screwed us on top of the general annoyance of the enemy selling out. Boris is not having good luck, and now you miscast. Okay, no more casting, I guess. Anybody else still around? You guys go capture the main settlement, then. How are we doing out here? Who's still fighting? Anybody? Alright, there you go. And we're not gonna bother healing Boris, and we're good. Only I could have transferred the healing potion to the Amber Wizard, and that would have kept him safe, but well, all good. Let's try to find a proper fight to end this episode on, since I don't know what that was supposed to be from the game. I really want to get Boris a proper sort of enemy, but since Wulfric is moving towards us, I think we'll send Boris to hunt down Wulfric, and considering the fact that the World Walkers have like 20 whatever settlements it was, they'll probably be a solid enemy for him to fight off. While I guess we'll keep sending Jürgen's army with Gotrek and Felix up north to continue helping out Mr. Boris Ursus, not Boris Todbringer. He's gonna help a Boris, one of the Borises. He got a missive to go help Boris, and he doesn't know who. Occupy. Alright, there we go. And we will still suffer attrition, but this time this guy won't die because of ridiculousness. Alrighty. Should we chase this guy down? Maybe we should... Is this their last settlement, out of curiosity? Scaling, yeah, that is their last settlement. Alright then, I think rather than going after this well, no, it's probably actually ignoring... Oh, they're not at war. I was gonna send you to kill these guys, but I guess Toddy we'll have you go to Vagar Lodge, or we could... or we could trade these. If these guys aren't at war, then maybe we could have you go here and allow Toddy to go this way. Fight some orcs. Alright, fine. We'll give you guys Arvik. We will not take your money, though. Much as I'd love to. Believe me. And then you can have Scapa Fjord as well. Likes. Do we need to... No, I was gonna say, do we need to have them declare war on anybody? But frankly, Boris he's dealing with enough stuff. Let him rest. Anyway, Jürgen, you're gonna push up to the lodge here. And... was this a remnants of the defeated army? I guess it was. Out of resolve. And we're looking okay. And, well, take the money because you didn't take any damage. And then keep proceeding up here. You should be able to reach the place next turn. Oh, can you increase your movement range slightly? You can indeed. Go here. And then channel. Lovely. Alright, enemy killed in battle, camp follower, another Helm of Discord. Good. Damn those mutagenic energies. And once again, the Tzeentchians continue to annoy. They must only use their powers to annoy. Anyway, you can move towards Rib Peaks. I see no new armies coming in here. I guess we could just transfer Nashrek's Lair to these guys. Yeah, why not? Go for Nashrek's Lair. Do we need money? Wow, 177, really? Do we need to take the money from these guys? You know what? It's annoying the degree that we've had to solve their problems for them, so I'm going to say yes, take their money. This might mean we have to solve more problems for we'll see. They have to pay us. Now, we still need to capture Zenris, so Gavin, you are going to meet hopefully Grimgor in battle, so you're going to move towards Kazad-Urkbavek. And obviously Karaz-a-Karak will be traded away. These things we will thus not invest in because we're going to need to swap a territory to the dwarfs in order to swap them more territories. It's going to be a whole thing. But it is what it is. Alrighty, then, I guess assuming that Elspeth... It'd actually be better to just not send her this way anymore. And we'll not waste her time. Alright, either way, Baldric, you're going to proceed to Vidovdan. Yes? Oh, you also need to heal up a little bit. Wow, Mortensholm is looking pretty okay, but anyway, we'll deal with you later. What do we... Valiant defeat, you say? Huh, I mean, I guess it's a minor settlement? No, it's a field battle. Huh, interesting. I guess our melee units are pretty damaged. Alright, fine, we'll do this. Wanted to end the episode off on a fight, so we'll certainly have a fight here. Now, we don't need taste for battle, I believe. And we don't need artillery master in this particular army. We should move towards Quiveravak Shi, but wait, Sure and True was the thing that we really wanted? Yeah, to buff everybody up, that's close by. Though, funnily enough, the range of this is really short. I mean, Huntsman General's already kind of trash tier lords, and I feel like maybe they could at least buff Sure and True or something to make them actually worth using at all. Like, I struggle to find a reason to use them other than for variety, which admittedly is a good reason, it's just, you know. Anyway, let's go for, I guess, missiles. Nah, let's go for reload. Try to move towards Arovakshi. It's also not a good spell either, or ability, so yeah. Half the time he just stands there and doesn't really use it. Yeah, go for a Seasoned Marksman. Move towards it quick as you can. Alright, let's level you guys up as well. You have for the cause. You will want to get We Are the Elite. We're not making use of Esteemed Combatant here. You. All-terrain vehicle is useless for us, at least in this particular army, so let's start moving through We Are the Elite as well, as at least some of these guys will level up pretty quickly. Alright, we gotta fight then. Go. Alright, here we go. We've had a weird couple fights that I'm just going to go ahead and chalk up to Tzeentchian shenanigans this time. Let's hope that Baldric Stroam and his Cocklanders are able to, you know, turn that around for us. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off with the Huntsman Vanguard deployed, doing about a little over 50% damage to the Boar Boys, and try to move the Huntsman General, but unfortunately the range on the Arovak Shi is actually garbage. It's at 200. Granted, his own range is only 200, and frankly I feel like maybe it should be increased, but I guess I mean there's got to be a limit to the degree. Well, then again, his huntsmen have a 233 range and the guy that leads them has only 180. Every time I get a huntsman general lord, I always think, why are these guys so terrible? But anyway, here we go. Looks like some squiggies are going to crash into the line of Wolfkin, and we are ready to fight. We've got a pretty distributed formation here. Our units of Hochland long rifles, the Ergig Jaeger Corps, and the Gunderman Surefires all up on this little slightly elevated hill. We've also got Huntsmen getting ready to move in towards the tree line, where we have a few more units of Hochland long rifles hidden and firing out of. Cliffside patrols here. And there we go. This is what they've seen in terms of the battlefield. Actually, a pretty cool view. As the rest of the enemy piles move on towards us. Does look like we are starting to take a little bit of damage on some of the Wolfkin. One of them is going to back off as they get torn to shreds. Though the other 2 units of Wolfkin over on the right flank have been hidden in the forest and have caught out a unit of Gobos, which they are absolutely tearing to shreds, especially with the help of this Empire captain, which just sliced the poor Gob in two. And they'll be dealing with more orcs and boar boys here as they can. Otherwise, it looks like enemy heroes have made their way forward, but our officers' squad will bravely, throw themselves at said heroes and allow the rest of our units to keep gunning the rest down. That poor Black Orc Big Boss suppressed and staggered 3 movement speed. I have a feeling this one is not going to be able to reach our battle lines. Shield Breaker will also prevent him from blocking too many shots off, and the Black Orc Big Boss gets exploded, and not in a good way. Otherwise, the units of Huntsmen and the Rifles still firing out of this tree line and obliterating any units that are attempting to give chase to our Wolfkin and to the Huntsman General, including a unit of Black Orcs. I wonder if this army could have used a Witch Hunter or two to, sort of be an emergency frontliner hero, but I think we're okay. Again, I still can't decide what to take out of this army in order to put in the Mage. It just feels wrong not to have one, even at least some kind of buffing one, or, slow enemies down or something. I'll think about it. It's funny, when I originally got the army and I realized that I had no room for a mage, I said I'll think about it, and I immediately said this probably means I will keep thinking about it until the campaign is over. And so far, I am continuing to think about it. But yeah, you gotta know yourself, I guess. Anyway, let's continue. Well, actually, let's not, because with that, the enemy army shatters, and the battle is ours. Certainly took some damage on those Wolfkin, but they certainly dished out damage back. All of them at around 100 kills, and plenty of damage as well. We'll take another look in the sort of post-battle roundup. A lovely fight, and thanks for breaking the sort of weird battle curse there, Baldric. All right, there we go. No problem. I think it would have actually been easier if it had been a minor settlement battle rather than a field battle, and that was a reasonably fun one. Certainly solid amounts of damage on our Wolfkin. The 2 units that went on the right flank held off the enemy cav, as well as several units of infantry very well. And, well, these guys are certainly high damage dealing, even if they always take damage themselves. Gotta appreciate that bleed on them as well. The Gundermans did well, the Hawklanders did well, the Merrymen got 13k damage, and let's see, we got 19k on the Altdorfer Schützen. Cliffsider patrols matched them with about 19k, and they just beat out Nachtjäger just a little bit. We're gonna need some names for Wolfkin as well. Anyway, we will occupy the pool. No, we're not returning to the Elector. We'll occupy the place. Alright, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, and Hvargir Forest is now ours. We're gonna pop you into Council of Burgomeisters and I guess build the Woodsman's Hut and the demolished building. Ooh, I wonder if by acquiring the additional Woodsman's Hut, we now have additional trade options available. We do, but they're not much. Mahrak is nearly there for a trade agreement. I wouldn't mind trading with Mahrak. Let's do Mahrak. And they're friendly with the court of Libara, so this works like so. All right. Anyway, with that, I just wanted to make sure we got a actual proper fight, and I think that was pretty proper, so we can end the episode here. Next time, we will continue moving towards Grimgor's territories. He is right here at the Pillars of Grugni, so Gavin will most likely have a nice fight against him. We'll probably have to send somebody to deal with the 3 stacks at the Vale of Webs as well. I was originally going to send Gavin, but he kind of can't leave, and just want to get the dwarfs their capital back as well. Otherwise, Karl Karl will continue hunting in the north in Norska, while Jürgen and Boris continue working on the Norskins and the Chaos and the Greenskins apparently out here and whatever else. And good stuff. Plus, we've got our armies heading to the Albion Bowl now, including Mr. Stefan von Kessel, whose army has been built. And I do think it is a pretty interesting one at that, so I'm excited to see what it can do. Medium really against this garbage? I'm gonna quick save this. I hope that it isn't saying that the Luminarchs will die. Let's find out. I'm very curious about it. No, it decided to kill 2 of the Knights of Everlasting Light and then severely damage all of our infantry? Why? Okay, well the auto-resolve is a maniac. Fairly often at that, so whatever. All good. Von Kessel, you're just going to pick up whatever money, presumably. Yep, that's a decent little bit of money, and you can keep sailing down the river. I guess you'll have to land at... wait. Yeah, this is shared. I was wondering if it was controlled. It's all good. Wait. I wonder if it might be faster to land here and travel up the coastline instead of via the water, because I think we might have more bonuses. It's about the same speed. The only problem is we'd have to embark here, but we could do it at the Sea Corps. Maybe that'll be good. Alright, you know what? I'd actually rather have you land. There you go. And, you're taking a surprisingly long time to heal. We should try to get you a warrior priestess. So, but anyway, we'll figure that out, we'll deal with it next time. So stay tuned for more Karl. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.